So we got the MWC, which stands for Military Watch Company, p656 automatic version. And over here we got the Luminox 3001 original model, as far as I know. Well, it's their original design. Can't say anything other than that. Because back in 2002 or 3, I bought this watch. And it is, I guess it's the Luminox 3001. And it's beat to crap, and I will go through that. But I'm assuming it's the same model. And it's based off of a military spec watch, which is the P650. And at least Stocker and Yale produced that model for the military. I'm not sure if Luminox technically ever did. But it's a 1990s technology. I'll go through the specs on that. So we got the MWC p656 model. Trying to get that sucker to focus. It's trying. So you can see it's basically the same idea. This one's the Blackout version. I just got it about a month ago. And you can see that the date, because it was set in September, is still on the 4th. Today is October 5th. This one I just set yesterday morning. Alright. But you can see the time is pretty much the same. Actually, they're running, honestly, 2 seconds fast. So this quartz watch has gained a little bit of time in the last month or so. That's gained about 2-3 seconds, which is remarkable. 2-3 seconds a month, we could all live with that. This one, I'll get into that too. Alright, so the MWC P656. Now this is the steel version, the 316L version, which they no longer carry. I think they're all sold out. It's worth checking their website though, just to see if they have any left. They ran a little cheaper. Now they have a titanium version. And I would assume it's substantially lighter than this. This is fairly heavy. I'm not sure of the weight, but it's fairly heavy. It's definitely a good watch for, and the thickness of it, of that case, it's a good watch for a single pass strap. Not a NATO strap. It's just too much. Too high off the wrist, it just bounces around. Once single pass is perfect. Alright, so MWC 656 auto version now is going to run you $499. $499 plus shipping. The shipping's not bad. Comes from England. Alright, so diameter 42 millimeters of the case, and with the crown 44, so not too bad. It's right in there. It's not huge, it's not small. Lug to lug is 49 millimeters. I would assume it's pin to pin. Swiss tritium lighting. Okay, that's the big thing. That's the big kicker here. It's a gaseous tritium light source. That's what GTLS stands for. So it's gaseous tritium light source. And that's the lume on these bad boys. And I'll tell you what, if it's not tritium, why bother? Okay. And it has the NH35A automatic movement, which I think is Seiko designed, at least. I'm not sure if it's Seiko produced anymore, but I believe it's a Seiko movement. And it's the 21,600 beats per second, or beats per minute. Six ticks per second. That's what it adds up to. As opposed to a 28,000 such and such, which is 8. So you can see it's a good sweep. It's the typical, it's classic. As opposed to the old quartz tick, click, click, click. Very nice. Alright. 41-hour power reserve on this. Sapphire Crystal. Flat sapphire, good legibility, Perfect. I love this watch. I'll get into why and how. And what and who. But Sapphire Crystal. And apparently it's got 2 layers of anti-reflective coating inside, like internal in that crystal. Then we got a little bit of sun going on here. Poderosa. .22mm strap width. This is actually a 20. It's off of a Marathon watch. So it's a little small. You can see that. So it's 20mm and it just goes with 22. 1,000 feet, 300 meters, and 30 atmospheres. So this bastard goes deep. And apparently it was not designed for scuba diving, but it would certainly work if that's your thing. If you're not using a computer, this would be a very adequate diving watch. I think it's overbuilt. Okay, so it's designed off of the original 1990s P650. If you look on their website, they do have an image of a Stalker and Yale version and all the specs of what the Army wanted. And it's based, that watch is, I think, it's a Type 6. So this is basically like the Type 6, if you're speaking military. And the stock number was US, or the specification number was US W-46374F Type 6. So that was a specification. The military wanted that, and they got it. And I mean, actually this is a better example. Just imagine that there's still a bezel on this. Get that thing to focus there. And if the battery's dead, and I'll go into the... So this one even says Navy SEALs on it. They don't anymore. God, I wish that would focus. There we go. A little bit. Alright. And the thing will operate up to 40,000 feet in the air and maintain proper time. That's what this watch was designed to do. So it's like sea, land, and air. So it'd be a good SEAL watch, right? Except for, you know, All right, so 40,000 feet. So cruising altitude, as far as I know, in a commercial flight, is 30 to 35,000 feet. And that's in a compressed or a regulated cabin, pressurized cabin. You could be on top of Mount Everest, at least. That's 29,000 feet, and this thing will be accurate. So I'm not sure what watches wouldn't be, but it's certainly spec'd it for that. All right, so getting on to the 3001 Luminox Blackout version. And I had this night watch back in the day, and I loved it. Didn't last long, though. Not the most durably built watch. I'll go through the specs real quick here. So 43 millimeters. That's what they say. Water resistance to 200 feet, which is more than adequate. Carbonox case and Carbonox back. The old ones were stainless steel screw on. You have to definitely make sure to have a good gasket in there and greased. Because I did all the work on this myself, and it sometimes would leak. The thing kept clicking along though, ticking. Carbonox screw down back. There again, so that's that same plastic. It even says on there, I don't know if you can read it. Carbonox case. Swiss made. Mineral crystal. Okay, strap width 22 millimeters. Very nice. 25-year glow on the tritium tubes, as they say. And this one actually still glows. You can still read this in the dark, this old one. And it's going on 20 years old, and I'm not sure. It might have been a year or two old when I bought it. I bought this for $199. These guys go for... I bought this in a store, too. These guys go for upwards of $350. So anywhere between like $200 and $350, you'll see this. These watches go for in 2021. So in 2003, 199 bucks. And now it's, you know, it hasn't doubled in price, but okay, so there you go. And original cases on these were polyamide. At least that was the military spec polyamide, some other kind of plastic. And these things weigh 50 grams. I did get the weight. I was not able to get the weight on this. This is the steel version. It's going to be heavier than the new titanium version, but by how much, I don't know. It's substantial, but it's not overly heavy. You know, it's not going to kill you. Plus, just put on a single pass strap, like I said. Or even one of these would be fine, too. 2-piece. Okay, so jumping on this, like I said, always enjoyed this design. Blackout was the only thing available at the price I paid for this. Got a pretty good deal on it. I went with it. And I mean, those numbers on these things wear off anyway. If that bezel was still on there, you'd see that the numbers were worn off. I do like this dial better, but you know what, this isn't bad. Even in low light conditions without the glow, you can still read what time it is. And the thing glows anyway, so at night, in the dark, if you can see it's glowing, it's easy to read what time it is from all angles and from all distances. I mean, it's not a problem. I like it. And it's a little bit more subdued. This guy, I mean, absolutely perfect. Bigger numbers, actually pretty big numbers, but not like stupid big. You know, it's not like you're a 5-year-old, but they're big enough. Got the little H3 and the little warning symbol. So 120 click, and it's gonna. I can't do it, but the bezels on these are extremely accurate, well aligned, but they're stiff. And I mean, it's like running a ratchet with this thing. It's pretty impressive. Some people probably don't like that. They want like a little looser, lighter feel. This is heavy. This is a heavy feel. This one's pretty light. I don't know if there we go. I can actually click this one. And it's lined up too. It's lined up very well. Like fit and finish on this watch is great. Fit and finish on this watch is, I would say, perfect. So it's 316L stainless steel, and it's got the PVD coating. And there's not a mark on this watch, and I've worn it pretty much all fire season. I swap this out sometimes for my Garmin. I have a Garmin Instinct. I'll do a review on that, I suppose, as well. Sometimes I wear them both together, but otherwise this is worn with me any kind of work. So it's been banging around on everything all summer long, dirty, whatnot. I mean, that's sunscreen. Sorry, it's kind of nasty. Sunscreen soap, probably. I tried washing it off. Sweat. But very nice. Get another view of that dial and whatnot. So price-wise, these guys now are going for $400, almost $500, $499. Okay, and this one is $350. You're looking at probably $200 if you could find them. Sometimes you just look long enough and hard enough. Up to $350. Some places I think are even actually asking more than that, which is amazing that they sell. In my view, it's a great watch. I'll get to some of the benefits, but overpriced. This one, it's like Jesus H Christ. I mean, it's the best bang for their buck. It's too bad that it's $500, but if you want a well-built watch, you know, I forgot to mention screw down crown. Unscrew it, pops out, and you can wind it up. I mean, it's got a nice click to it. Even, firm, not tight, but firm. I'll stand by one. Okay, back. I got the case back open here. Same thing will focus. As usual, my hands are messed up. So MB Microtech H3. So that's the company that makes the vials full of the tritium. Contract date, January 2019. Military P656-19. Serial number, yeah. Water resistant, 300 meters. Doesn't say where it's made. If you look on their website, it's basically like their stuff is made in Switzerland and Germany. I hope so. I hope none of it's manufactured in China. It possibly could be some of the parts. I think that possibly the movement is produced in China for Seiko. It's one of their outsourced movements. I don't know. Maybe it's made in Japan. I'm not sure. think the rest of it's, though, is produced, I hope, in Europe, one way or the other. It's like an English company, but their stuff is produced in Switzerland and then also Germany. At least that's the way that you're led to be. Nothing says made in China, so that's cool. A little gritty in there. The only weakness of this is those strap pins, watch pins, spring bars. They haven't torn out. Okay, so on that note, it's stainless steel. New ones are titanium, PVD coat, very durable. It's like if anything happens, it's not going to be these things are torn out. It's going to be that they get bent and broken. These are going to fail, not the watch, not those lugs. These guys, all four, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those spring bar ends, stripped basically. And this one finally broke. But I was always tempted just to drill a hole through there and run something like a bolt through axle through there and do it that way. They're all stripped. Definitely always had to have it on a NATO strap to make sure that you didn't lose the watch. So, and I can't say how many fire seasons I actually wore this. I know I wore it that first year, but it was always getting traded out for a Sunto. Some years I was wearing Suno all the time. Sometimes I was wearing one of these. Also, somewhere in there before this, there was I had a Timex field watch, you know, with like Indiglo. I got it REI, and then that one gave out. Funny thing was, though, is the strap, the NATO strap on that ended up on this because this failed. So I don't know if they improved this from the old ones, but this one actually broke. I know I had it up until 2005, 6, 7, maybe somewhere in there. And then I got another Suzo, you know, I got mixed around. Just kind of like if it died, I'd wear the other one. But I mean, finally it just gave out. Like the second hand fell off mountain biking. I took it down to a watchmaker or a jeweler. He fixed that problem, but he dicked up the bezel, and the bezel finally just popped off, and I just tossed this thing in the box. And then I think, pardon me, while it was in storage, I don't know, I pulled it out, and this, maybe that was already broken. I don't know. That was another note, though. Apparently this is mineral crystal or mineral glass or something, whatever. I haven't detected a scratch on there. Maybe some fine scratches, but this got the crap kicked out of it. I just dropped on concrete even, and there's no scratches on it. So that's good. So you got sapphire over here, which is even better. That's good. And then I'm assuming this is the same crystal material here. Yeah, it's a really lightweight thing after holding like a man's watch, you could say, or an adult's watch, however you want to put it. I mean, this thing is just a tank, and then you get this, and it's got its advantages to it, and I'll get to that in a second, but you really pick it up and you wear it and you look at it closely. And it's just real plasticky, because that's what it is. They church it up by calling it Carbonox, but it's plastic, It's not worth that much money, but the thing is, it does have that Ronda movement, which is good and durable. I'll tell you what, if I had a battery in here, I'm assuming it just keeps as good a time as it did the day it was brand new. And it's had water in it. It's been jangled around. I've done the work on it for the most part. So it's got that going for it, and it's extremely lightweight and comfortable. And if these watch straps ever go, you can always put a NATO on there or something. 100% rubber. What does it say? Genuine rubber. I guess there's fake rubber out there. So genuine rubber, and it is very comfortable. It's very soft. I like it. I like this watch, and it's lightweight. So if you're after lightweight, good accuracy, good glow, good legibility, this is a good watch. It's just not going to, if you're going to be physical with it out, playing hard with it, working hard with it, it's not going to last as long as something like this. So $250, $500. I think this is 10 times the watch as that, but this is lightweight. You save some money. If you buy the, they do have a quartz version. You probably save $100, maybe 150. I'm not really quite sure. So you save some money there. This is going to be a bigger, thicker watch, heavier. It is what it is. If you want something a little lighter weight, analog, tritium, which tritium is better than a backlight in my opinion because you never have to hit a button. Plus it's got a bezel for doing any kind of simple timing. One, I can definitely say, choice you have. Okay. $50 is the Casio 5600. And it comes in all different colors and prices, but this is the low version of it. It's got time, date, stopwatch, timer, and alarm. That's all you need. The buttons are kind of janky. I mean, it's like early 80s technology. I don't think they've improved on it. That's fine. It's unrefined. I'm not a G-Shock guy, but so out of all of them, this is what they all do. That's it. And if you want any technical instrumentation on a watch, I would go with a Garmin or a Suunto, not a Casio. So if you want a G-Shock, and they have a bunch that aren't G-Shock that are probably just as good. They're just not quite as shock resistant. But you know what? If you want G-force shock on you, your arm's going to be fucked up before your watch. I'll tell you that. So that's kind of a... But they are durable. And people love them. And I'm not going to say anything that they're not durable. They are. So if you want an analog with tritium and good movement, the Luminox is a great choice. But if you're just if you're simple, same size pretty much in weight, G-Shock $50. Which kind of sounds like I'm kind of ragging on that Luminox, and I'm not trying to, because I do like the watch. It's just I know that the longevity of it is not going to be great. But good specs, good movement, good light source, durable as far as shock goes, I guess, besides the hands falling off. Heck, it could happen on this one too. I don't know. It just hasn't happened yet. And that guy had the crap kicked out of it for a long time, I think, before that happened. But it happened. And they're watches. That's what happens to them. So maybe I'm being overly harsh. I don't want to be. All right, sorry about the focus. I think that's pretty much all I've got. I love the design. This is my favorite kind of watch right here. So all of them work great. Price differences, weight differences, a little bit of movement type in there. I think I pretty much covered everything I wanted to. But definitely my favorite. All right. Well, have a good rest of your day and rest of your week. Thank you for watching.